Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Sunday, the 21st of November 2021. Welcome to the weekly updates of stock market and the watch list for GrowWealth members. So it's slightly bit delayed today. Life has got really busy, so I'll try to keep it really succinct, which is going to be a challenge for me. So let's see how I get along with that. Let me start by sharing the screen. All right. So I hope you can see the screen. I'm starting with the put call ratio. Just ignore the kind of up and down moment here. Look at the price on the right hand column here, which is 0.7. Anything below 0.8 is market being extremely bullish. This is a contrarian indicator. So below 0.8 indicates that's likely to be selling coming up or intermediate top coming up. So something to be cautious about. And this is what is also highlighted in many of the broader market indices as well. Let's have a look at it. This is the S&P 500 on the weekly. It's consolidating with 3-week tight price action on the weekly. Nothing to worry about on S&P 500. Going back to NASDAQ, it actually did much better than S&P 500 and closed at all-time high. However, this is where it gets more interesting. If you look at the, where's it gone? If you look at the next few indices, this is not functioning very well now. So this one is the Dow Jones Index. Let's go to the daily, which might be a bit more easier to understand what we are trying to highlight here. So NASDAQ and S&P either at all-time high or almost at all-time high, whereas the Dow Jones Index is showing that it's pulling back. It's close to 50-day moving average. It's still above this previous resistance or right at that level. So it's not a bearish signal in itself, but it's showing relative weakness compared to the other market, like in NASDAQ and S&P 500. The same thing could be said for New York Composite Index, and the same thing repeats in IWM, which is the Russell 2000 Mid-Cap Index. So what it signifies is that it's a mixed market now. And even within NASDAQ and S&P 500, where there are lots of growth stocks in it, only a select handful of stocks are performing well. You know, the big names like Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, Netflix, those kind of stuff. So they are the ones seemingly holding the broader market index in NASDAQ and S&P 500 up, compared to a lot of other stocks underneath the surface showing quite a lot of weakness. So don't be fooled with just the NASDAQ and S&P 500 being up, meaning the market is healthy. It's not. Even in the NASDAQ, there are lots of stocks hitting on 52-week low compared to the number of stocks hitting 52-week high. So the breadth of participation is not happening. The NASDAQ is close to 6% above their 50-day moving average, which is usually the point it pulls back. Not all the time, but that's where it tends to start to show some weakness and tend to pull back in the recent many months. So something to be cautious about. All is not well is the message so far. And that is also reflected in our watchlist stocks as well. And I'll come to that in a second. Bitcoin, along with all the cryptocurrencies, has pulled back quite a lot, nearly 17 to 20% from the new top on the 9th of October, so or the 9th or 10th of November to the 19th of November. So 10 days seen nearly 20% drop. It's seemed to find some support over the last couple of days. The price is currently above the 50 EMA. Ethereum is acting a little bit more stronger than Bitcoin. Some of the other cryptocurrencies are also trying to find some support here. So I'm expecting that it should find some support, settle down, and resume its uptrend, hopefully in the next couple of days or so. I've used stop loss right around there, and we got out of it. Stop loss at this price. So we avoided the drop here, and when it resumes and gives me another entry signal, I would re-enter it. Okay, now moving on to our watchlist stocks. QS, let's move on to the weekly candle, because we are looking at performance on a weekly or a period of month. So it's still in the nice uptrend about the 50-week moving average, high volume up days coming up. Last week is a little bit of consolidation or a pullback, a pause, but still within about the key moving averages. So from the weekly point of view, this is fine. It's still progressing nicely on its track. What I would expect is to find some support at the 50-week moving average and resume uptrend. And if it closes above the last week's open in the subsequent or the next week, that's going to be a good bullish indication for the further upside over the weeks to come. The next one is Trupanion. It's a pet insurance company. So it is nicely progressing up. Volume above average volumes coming up on 3 consecutive weeks, price at all-time high, and this week it had seen 5% increase. So that's compared to 0.35% increase for the market. So this is good relative strength overall. And it's also broken out of this top here. So W pattern and breakout. So this is a great stock to own and great bullish setup. The next one is ARGB. There are increasing number of COVID cases coming up in Europe, and some of the countries are going for another lockdown. Austria has done a lockdown. There's talks that Germany might do. Cases in UK is also increasing. So there is concerns that travel industry might be disrupted again. And with that, the ABNB stock is going to also finding some resistance around 200 level mark. If you go to the daily, it's still about the post-earnings gap up low. So I'm watching that. It may find some support at 21-day moving average here, around $190 mark. So it gave a doji. The theory of doji is it tends to travel in the same direction where it opens and trades after the doji. So next Monday and Tuesday trades is going to be key to see whether the 21-day moving average is acting as a support or not. It'll be nice to see if it finds some support here and it resumes the uptrend. But I guess this is at the mercy of coronavirus for now. It also has IPO all-time high resistance zone at 220. So maybe it's kind of forming a cup and a handle here, perhaps. And that'll be even more bullish for long term. So if it forms, it's forming a cup, maybe it's trying to form a handle here. And then if it breaks out of that handle over the next few weeks to come, that'll be a great entry point. And about 212 will be an additional entry point for investors as well. Moving on, the next one is ARB. This is the Argo blockchain mining company, UK company. And it's still about the 50-week moving average. It's kind of consolidating on low volume, which is positive. Price about the key moving averages. So it hasn't kind of decisively broken out yet. If it breaks out about 156, that's strong. And then there's interim resistance at 176. And then off you go to the next top. So it's still kind of progressing in the kind of base structure at this point. This is a fantastic structure. This is one of the leaders that are tall skyscraper volumes here after the earnings, and that means institutions can't have enough of this stock and they're piling into this company, and that shows up in the stock price. So 38% increase week before last and 25% increase last week. It's likely to resume uptrend. It's likely to continue its uptrend. Maybe have a week or two to pause and catch up. Its breadth will be useful to allow the moving averages to catch up. The price is around 20%, 15 to 20% above the T line on the daily. So it'll be nice to see a bit of consolidation, which might also give us another entry point, because now it's a bit too extended and it's not good to chase the stock. I have booked partial profit on this day, where it kind of indicated it might go for a pullback, but it didn't. And again, that shows strength. So strong bullish start, and I think it's just starting its new uptrend now. Woozi had a strong pullback of nearly 12% last week, but if you look at the last 3 weeks, last 5 weeks, it's been consistently going up on a positive volume, and it had a down week on lower volume, which is not too bad at all. And looking at the daily, though, you can see the white line, that is the 200-day moving average, that is acting as a support. So it might, if the market condition didn't weaken, if the market is reasonably strong and didn't break down, it could find support at 50-day moving average and consolidate between 50 and 200 and then break out of the 200-day moving average. But you need to see that. If it continues to go down, then all bets are off. Right now, it's watchful mode, watch and wait mode. This one is Shopify. Big, large cap companies, giant market cap companies are doing really well, and Shopify is no exceptions to that. Strong volume coming in for week after week for the last 7 weeks, finding support at 50-week moving average and closed at all-time high. So strong uptrend continuing in this stock. This is Amazon. Yep, same story. It also gave a weekly MACD cross last week and continued positive, which has been the results that we found on the backtesting as well. So it gave us 4+% return last week, and it is very close to its all-time high. Hopefully the holiday season coming up, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas coming up should be good for this company, provided the market kind of also provides some support. But so far, this is really strong, high volume accumulation is coming up. TTD, this kicker symbol happened on the weekly following the earnings. This is a strong price action. So in the candlestick pattern, when there's a down week or a down day, and then the price being kicked to the opposite direction, gapped open and moved in the opposite direction on high volume with support at the key moving averages, that's a kicker symbol. So this gave, TTD gave that signal on a weekly chart following its earnings and high volumes coming up and continuing to go up and closed at all-time high. Strong price action, still bullish, continue to be on the stock. Etsy. So the retail e-commerce is doing well. Shopify, Amazon, yeah, advertisements, which is TTD, Metaverse, which is the gaming and Metaverse, which is the Roblox, are also doing well. Facebook is also trying to settle and go well. It's not one of our watch list stocks, but that's also something to watch. Etsy, similarly, following the theme, is doing really well, continuing to act so well on the weekly, marching ahead without any problems. This doesn't show that there is any turbulence in the market at all. That's so strong. So continue to stay bullish on the stock. The next one is SEDGE, SolarEdge, playing on the solar energy sector. It's forming a multi-month cup. So it started to form this cup from the beginning of this year, 4th of January. That's when the first trading day of the year was. So all this year, it's been forming this cup, and now it's forming a handle here right at the top of the cup. What would be nice to see is a high volume, good market action, and break out of this year-long cup will be good. The market is favorable to the EV sector, the solar energy, alternate energy sector. So I wouldn't be surprised if it finds support and breaks out into new all-time high in the next few days. If it did break down, that is telling, and we need to be cautious that even the strongest sector is showing some weakness. That means we need to take some defensive stance. But right now, it's staying strong. Next one is Plug Power. Again, alternative energy playing on the theme, hydrogen power. And so this is continuing to go up, and high volume accumulation hasn't stopped. Still bullish. The price action, the moving average is trying to catch up. It could kind of consolidate over the next few days and go up again. So I'm strong. This is very strong, and I'm bullish on this stock. MP, this is minerals, rare earth minerals, which again supplies various upcoming industries like EV sector as well. So this is having those tailwind, strong earnings and price bullish action of 27% move, big four last, and now it's just taking a pause. It's still about this resistance here, the pivot point here, the stop and these stops. So it's still bullish, and it gave an inside week. So next week will be a bit more revealing whether it breaks down or breaks out to continue its bull trend. But right now, it is strong and bullish. Something to watch. Fresnillo. So this is added to play on the gold strength. Gold has pulled back just in the last few days. Not too much, it's just consolidating, taking some pause. So along with that, Fresnillo also took some pause, just minus less than 2% off. It hasn't given back most of the gains it had over the last couple of weeks. Low volume week. So this is still strong, about 200 week, 50 week, above all the key moving averages. So because the shorter term moving averages are still below 250. What tends to happen usually is price consolidates, those short-term moving averages comes above the 50 and 200, and then price tends to move up. So that's likely to happen for this stock as well over the next couple of weeks if the price for gold improves. So watch for wait. Same story. KL. This is the gold mining stock again. So it's still in that consolidation zone here. If you put a box here, it still nicely sits within that consolidation. Some strong high volume up weeks are coming up, and the down weeks are on low volume, which is encouraging to see. So there is accumulation going on. So you can see high volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nearly 10 weeks accumulation over the last 4 or 5 months, and only one distribution week, here, and the rest are below average below average selling days. So a lot of accumulation in this stock is happening over the last many months. Unity Software, this is playing on the gaming sector, and this has been doing really, really well, reached all-time high the week before last, and then some profit taking is coming up now. This volume last week is below the previous week. It's still higher than average, but something to watch to see what happens. So if you can go to look at the daily chart, it's despite the pullback, it's still above the key moving averages. So strong and bullish. So that is it. So all of the 16 stocks are reasonably doing well. I want to show how the percentages has been. So this is how the watch list has performed, reflective of the mixed markets that we are in. There's undercurrent going on, NASDAQ doing well, Dow Jones not doing so well. So really reflective on that, our stock is performing 50-50. So 50% of our watch list stocks are beating the market and 50% below the market. But even the ones that is showing negative, it's all just pausing. None of them has broken down yet. They are still bullish or are doing just consolidating and waiting for the hot hat to go off and cool down before the new buying comes in. So hope that gives you some good understanding of how the market has been. And yeah, look at the current trend. It is slightly bit extended, and there are lots of rotation seems to be going on under the surface. Only the big stocks are holding the market up. So play safe. Look at the chart, respond to it, don't anticipate, don't predict it. Respond how it is, use some stop loss, be on the right sectors so that you follow the tailwind, follow where the money is going rather than fighting the trend. Okay. Happy learning, successful investing. I'll see you in our next week's video.